esthetician marketing made fun here on the Let's Hash It Out podcast, and today we talk search engine optimization and genetics. Thanks for being here. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Let's Hash It Out. This is where we stop pretending and we start unpacking. We speak the truth, especially when it comes to marketing in the beauty industry. I'm the nerd on your marketing team at Facets of Hospitality. You might know me as Jen, you might know me as Nerd in Charge. Either way, hi. Today I've got an interesting and brainy blend of strategy, esthetician reality checks, and maybe a little wild card of science. If you're just joining us, I talk about a little bit of everything. You don't have to believe me, you don't have to like me, I'm just trying to inspire some thought. So that little wild card of science has been messing with my brain, and I'd really love it if, I could get a little bit of input from some people that I trust, and I trust estheticians. So let's get down to it. In this episode, we're going to mix a little bit of ads and advertising and pay-per-clicks. We're going to talk about SEO, search engine optimization, how that relates into facials, and maybe even I might get into the science topic I'm interested in with genetics, because, that's where marketing is heading. And if you're not thinking about a few moves ahead, you're already a little bit behind. What I feel when I talk to people who are just now starting to get on an Instagram or an email chain of marketing, that's 2012, and we're already a little bit past that. So let's start with the basics. Why are so many estheticians still marketing like it's 2012? Okay, so posting a Canva template is great, but you have to make sure you can put your logo on it and all that kind of fun stuff. That's what we've taught for years. It works. It's not strategy, it's steps. That's the first start. That's how you're going to get going. And if you're still doing that 10 years into business, you're not scaling, you're surviving. So, that's not strategy, that's a wish. And wishes don't pay the booking software fees, and those things are getting higher and higher every day. So we've been doing this for decades. Our team has at least 65 plus years combined experience in branding, copy, ad strategy, web design, all the fun stuff in tech that we don't like to gatekeep, but also you don't like hearing about. So all that stuff we do. And what we know for sure is this: the organic reach that we used to brag about is dying unless you are real in your reels and you're playing the game. Random ads you can't just boost a post anymore, and posting more is not just the answer. So I've written about this a lot on our blog, Marketing Minutes at facetsofhospitality.com. Over there you'll find pieces breaking down why search engine optimization even matters and how to run ads that don't suck, and why your caption might not be converting. It's not that you are just using AI, it's that you're not checking the AI for your voice, and it's not just that you're not posting, it's that you're not posting the right captions that people are searching for. So if you've ever posted self-care is important and you expected bookings, well, we've already lost the algorithm war. We've created something called the Facet Method, and that includes SEO, ad management, and done-for-you content each month. It's not just for influencers because they already know the game of being real. This is for real service providers who want results without playing the algorithm circus every day from their treatment room. I know that's not fun, and I know it's not what you're wanting to do. I do think that there is something about playing the algorithm game and knowing how to play that is beneficial, but I definitely don't think that you have to compromise your standards. So you don't have to bounce around on TikTok and do the trends if you don't want to. And going viral like that might not help your business. It depends on what digital offers you have available aside from your facials in your treatment room. If your lead generation is to get butts in seats, but the stuff that you're doing for marketing is to get views and likes, there's going to be a giant disconnect between the millions of views and the 2 appointments booked. So there's no real reason to do social media if you can't do do a lot of business, if you just need a few appointments a day, do something locally to reach out, because it'll be a lot less stress for you and you won't get too many people that aren't in your business. You want the right client. And if you can handle a lot of business, if you need a lot of appointments every day, if you can sell online and off, then run the ads, do the things, do the trends, do the stuff, because you can handle the business. You have to know your audience and you have to know what you're out for. And just playing to play with ads and all that stuff, you're not targeting the right people that work for you. You're hurting your brand, you're hurting your pocketbook, you're hurting your stress. The reason I'm doing this podcast today is because I am tired of hearing from people who have tried every marketing team, every shtick, everything, every plan, every year-long commitment, and they're still not getting appointments, but their competitors are showing up on Google ahead of them and they don't know why. Well, SEO and ads goes a long way, but you have to do it right and consistently. And if you're not a shady person, you can't get fast results. So it is what it is. Anyway, so that's the ads and stuff like that. The other thing that I would like to talk about is the fact that you don't have to pay a team to do stuff for you. We are very transparent in the fact that we show you what we're doing. We're going to do it for you. And then if you need us to teach you how to do some of the extra stuff that we're doing, or if you want to do what we're doing for yourself because you have that time, then we'll teach you how to do it. You can pay us to teach you. It's fine, but you have to do it is one of the things. A lot of times people gatekeep how marketing works and things like that so that they can charge you a fee. And that's fine. We charge a fee, but usurping that fee for things that are easy to do and then bragging like they're hard to do, that's the thing that I have trouble with. And there's a lot of mind control in marketing. I mean, I wrote that book, so go check it out on Amazon. But there's a lot of it in your posting that you're reading. And if you're searching, how can estheticians make money, then you're probably getting a lot of situations where people are telling you to be a six-figure esthetician, you have to do these things. And yeah, these things can be done, but all of them require you being that esthetician that people come to as a resource. And if you're not providing that resource somewhere that they can get before they book with you or want to book with you or find to book with you somewhere, there's nothing available for them to land on as far as like a trust factor. So put some content out there somewhere, do some things that solidify the fact that you are an expert in your business somewhere, and that's where your content comes from. That will solidify you as the expert. They will fall on your pages from traffic and the way you're sending traffic, and then that means that you will be able to utilize that traffic to get to the education and keep them loyally connected to you until they're ready to book an appointment. Now they remembered you and they want to book with you. That's why social media works. It's not the viral trends, it's not the get rich quick schemes and stuff like that. Social media is another tool for your business, a sales tool, a lead magnet, and if you're not using that right, then it's probably stressing you out. Anyway, I had something that was stressing me out too, and I wanted to talk about it, but I think estheticians would be very interested in this. I don't know, I could be wrong. But anyway, so I'm not a geneticist at all, but let's talk about what your DNA might say about your skin. Like I said, I'm not a geneticist and I'm not, diagnosing or asking anything scientifically, or I'm just trying to inspire thoughts, right? So I'm not trying to be your functional medicine provider or your skin witch, but I am someone who sees patterns. And this one, well, it's a little juicy. What if the way your skin reacts to products, treatments, even smells or touch has a genetic origin? Here are a few gene variants that I've been reading about that might be worth talking to your esthetician about. And if you are the esthetician who, this podcast itself is tailored to, it might be worth knowing what these genes, and if someone has these genetic markers or abnormal genetic markers on these genes, would react different ways, because that will set you apart. A lot of times, and you can see this in trends where, like, say, an influencer like Elise Myers goes to an esthetician and the esthetician uses a product that doesn't suit well for Elise's skin, and she has a reaction to it, and she makes a viral video, and estheticians are dogged on because they use sucky products. And that's how marketing works. So if you want to be on the other side of that, you need to be the one that someone like Elise with her influence would go to an esthetician, and she has a talk about these things. She finds out that this person reacts like that. Maybe she reacts to lavender and peppermint differently, and you talk about these things in your consult. But if you're paying attention for these factors, then you might not use this product because she mentioned this. Or if you knew she had the motherfucker gene, then you might, not gene, but like the genetic anomalies, then you might know that she reacts this way or that way or this way, and so you're not going to use this protocol right now. You're going to try it with this. If you have your science down to the genetics of the skin, that would really set you apart, I think. And when she goes to her, review and do a little thingy clip because she's so beautiful, she'd be like, my esthetician even talks about the genetics of my skin. That would be something that would set you apart scientifically, I just think. I don't know, but have you studied it? Have you studied it? So, it might be worth talking about the motherfucker, MTA. It's trending and this and that and the other, but, if you have the anomalies, there are some things that it causes that are not fun. If you don't methylate well, your skin might struggle to detox. So, harsh peels and, inflammatory protocols that are like inflammation heavy for healing and that kind of thing, that might be a no-go. And if you don't know that your client has these genetic anomalies, that could be causing some reactions that you didn't know were able to be caused. I don't know, I'm just curious. So then there's also FAAH. This one affects the emotional memory and the response to scent. So if you've ever had a visceral reaction to lavender, peppermint, anything calming, that might be your genes. It might be trauma recall, all kinds of things. Those types of things are real, but they're scent oriented. And if you don't know that your client is reacting that way, you might just think they're sensitive and treat them not kindly and maybe put the diffuser on anyway because it's going to calm them down. Okay, but you might also trigger something in them and they will not ever come back to your spot because they felt something different or didn't like the way it felt, or you didn't listen to them when they don't like lavender. They don't know why they don't like lavender, but maybe their genes are telling you why. And it's just an interesting concept to think about. There's also this one I would love esthetician input on, the MC1R, related to pigmentation and sun sensitivity. Clients with certain variants may burn faster, hyperpigment easier, or need totally different melanin care strategies. And I'm not saying that you as an esthetician needs to go into a genetic panel workup before you'll even touch their skin. We don't have those testing capabilities, but if you're a science nerd esthetician and a couple of your clients have had their raw data done, you could always ask them to look for certain genes that are, relating to the skin and ask them what variants they have, if they react differently, you might like to know that. And then you could, learn about it. So imagine just if asking better questions could tailor your facial more effectively. Do you get flushed easily after wine or spicy food? Or do you feel overstimulated in scented rooms? That could lead to a way better service outcome. And frankly, it's better marketing copy too. And the reviews that they will give when they talk about you in their videos or on the reviews themselves will be so much different than all those, I felt great, the creams worked well. You need something like that. It's a smarter marketing. So that's what I mean by smarter marketing anyway, is what to fix first. Let's get practical. Jumping out of the science realm, if you're listening and thinking, okay, but what should I actually do? Okay, so genetics of it aside, get at what you're good at, figure out, your shtick and what you are and who you like to promote and this, that, and the other as far as skincare or whatever it is that you're doing. Understand that. And then fix your Google business profile. That's the first impression. If I were to search, enzyme facial near me, are you going to come up? If that's your favorite service to offer and you want to offer that as the first client intake everywhere, but you don't even come up when I search that in your city, then you need to start talking about that in places, on socials and blogs and your SEO and your metadata, things like that. So if your profile doesn't show up, you've got a problem, fix that in your Google business profile. All right, so audit your website. We can do this for you. Click on our website audit button on our facetsofhospitality.com. But if your homepage says, welcome to our website, and nothing else, I highly think that your bounce rate is probably screaming and nobody is clicking to your bookings. And that's a problem. So we need to audit your website. We need to fix your Google business profile. And then if you want to schedule a strategy call, we do a free tip for tips session. That'll help you give some custom insights. And I'm not trying to sell you a funnel. We do build them, but we do a website audit that is called the race mode for a reason. And it's kind of like we're your pit crew for inspections on your online presence. We tell you what's broken, what is fixable, and what's costing you money just by being ugly or confusing. But let's take a break. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Let's just take a breath. Because I know some of you are very smart, talented, and brilliant estheticians, and you're not doing any of these things, like the SEO or the ads or the genetics or the science or the this or the that. Why not? Well, maybe it's because you're scared of how you look on camera and you don't want to talk about those things because you might not be the best expert in the world and you're afraid, your hair might not be shaped the right way for the day and someone might pick that apart and you're just not ready for that. So you're just going to stay in your treatment room, dark and silent, not tell anybody what you do. Okay. You might also be exhausted. Valid. You might be burned out by a coach who overpromised. Also valid. Or maybe you're just frozen and you're waiting until you feel ready. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's your permission slip. You are already enough, okay? You can market without being perfect. You can grow without going viral. You can be strategic and soft at the same time. So that's the whole point of this whole new, shebang that we've created here to keep it easy for you is called the Facet Method. I've got free tools, I've got cheap books, and we've got services that you can afford. But the whole idea is that one way, shape, or form, you're going to walk away knowing that you are enough. You don't need anything else to get going. You don't need anything else to get started. You don't need our special program. You have enough. You have a phone. You have an idea. You have a thought. You can tell somebody about your business today and market it and feel like you did a great job and were productive and you didn't have to sell your soul to get clicks. And I promise you, it's marketing that doesn't make you feel like you sold your soul to get clicks. That's huge, okay? Okay, so that's all for today. I'm not going to go any further. If this hit, if you're intrigued, if you're ready to stop duct taping your visibility together, Scotch tape is invisible, but doesn't hold for a social media campaign. Okay, so you can go to facetsofhospitality.com. You can book the free tip for tip sessions. They're free. They're free whenever you want. Get on the calendar. You can ask questions. They're 15 minutes long, and you don't have to tip if you don't want to. You'll be sent an email if you want to. Or you can slide into our DMs on Facets of Hospitality over on Instagram is where we answer most. And just say, okay, I'm ready, what now? Or something like that. Just let me know that you've heard this. And if you're also on NASM Pro, we have some stuff going to NASM Pro TV, and they have a lot of education over there. Let me know you're a NASM Pro member. We do some discounts for you and fun stuff like that. Thanks for listening. I hope this belongs on your podcast lineup of favorites. And until next time, I'm the nerd on your marketing team at Facets of Hospitality. And this has been Let's Hash It Out.